Om Sai Ram. Today Deepak has asked me to talk about my life, so I will tell you a little about my life. I was born in 1943 in Arvankadu. I am the youngest of 4 children. All of my family is now devoted to Baba after Baba came into our lives. My mother was very sick and she was admitted in Vellore Medical College, and after many surgeries, investigations, tubes and things like that, x-rays and everything was done for her. The doctors were unable to find a diagnosis and they didn't know what was wrong with my mother. When I was a child, to be upstairs in one room, it was all dark and she would always be vomiting. She used to vomit incessantly. My father would come from work and go into that room and creep and come out of that room. Like he used to go in, creep in and creep out, and there was very silent about it. As a kid, I knew that my mother was very sick, and I thought that my grandmother, who looked after us, was my mother. Then one day it so happened that my father read in the paper, the Hindu paper, saying that some Swamiji called Narsingh Swamiji was coming to Coimbatore, Nagasai temple, and then he read that he gives some sort of vibhuti, he gives some sort of vibhuti of some Baba and people get cured by it. So he asked my mother whether she would like to go. My mother said yes. When human beings are unable to treat me and to find out what is wrong with me, let us try God. So my father, my mother and I went to Nagasai temple to meet Narsingh Swamiji. Narsingh Swamiji called when it was time for my mother's appointment. We went in, and that time I was standing near the door. My mother had gone in because it was a very crowded room. Lots of people were there waiting for Narsingh Swamiji to help them. And he gave my mother Baba's Udi and a small photograph of Baba about this much. And he said, "This is Sai Baba of Shirdi and this is his Udi. You have to apply it all over your body and also to take it internally mixed in water as Udi Tirtha. And you have to say this stotra." It was actually a stotra of Narayan, in which it says that Baba is Lord Shri Narayan, and when you take his Udi internally, then any diseases of the 9 orifices that you got, like the nose, the mouth, the alimentary tract and things like that, any diseases you got of the Navadwar of your body will be cured. And my mother went back home with the Udi and she did as she was told. And he told my mother that in 21 days you will be okay. He promised her that she would be okay, and that was something that she had not heard in a long time. My mother did exactly what she was told, and on the 6th day she literally got up and said, "I'm fine." My father was surprised. He said, "How can it be possible? You've been so sick all this while and now you say you're fine?" She said, "Yeah, I am really fine. I'll go downstairs and I will cook breakfast for the children." My father couldn't believe her and he came after her to see if she was able to do what she said she would. And she did. And after that, I got my mother back. Before we left Nagasai temple, I was standing near the door and I was looking at Narsingh Swamiji. And Swamiji had this long white beard. And to me, he looked like Santa Claus. And my mother was crying at that time and telling him about her problems. I thought to myself that this man is Santa Claus. I'm sure he will grant my mother what she wants and she will stop crying. And that's exactly what happened. Narasimha Swamiji knew what was going on in my mind and he called me and he said, come here, come here. I went up to him and then he picked me up and placed me in his lap and then he put his hand on my head like this and said, Nalla pulle, Nalla pulle. After that, my mother did recover, as I said, and my father, who was an atheist, he just took a 180-degree turn and he became totally devoted to Baba. He wanted to know who Baba was, what his goody was, and he wanted to know everything about Baba. And he did find out that later. We went to thank him in 1950. This was somewhere in 1949. So Baba came into our house in 1949 and has been with us ever since. In 1950, we got transferred to Jabalpur. My father got transferred to Jabalpur, and we went to All India Sai Samaj to thank Narasimha Swamiji. And we thanked him, and at that time he told my father, he said, Prabhu, you are going to central India, Madhya Pradesh, and I want you to do Baba Prachar. And that was the seed that came into my life. And I thought, what a nice thing it would be to tell people about this beautiful God that we've got, this wonderful God that we know. Let us tell other people, maybe it will change a life or two, and even if it changes one life, that will be a great thing. My father, of course, went to Jabalpur, and every Thursday he started doing Baba Aarti and Baba Puja, and he would invite the whole factory or the whole section of his, and they would come to our house, or anybody who wanted to have a Baba Puja. At that time, nobody knew about Baba. In fact, as I tell people that I grew up with Baba, that is, most people will look at a photo, in those days would look at a photo of Baba and think that we were Muslims and they wouldn't work in a house. And we had to tell them, no, we are Brahmins. And then they'd look at the photograph and say, who is this? So we'd have to tell them that he's a Datta avatar. He's like Lord Krishna, or he's like Lord Shiva, he's Datta. That was something why I say I grew up with Baba. Because in those days people were fighting whether he was a Hindu and a Muslim. We in this present age know many things about Baba. We've read Shripad Shivala Charitra, we've read the Sai Sat Charitra, so we know about Baba. But in those days very few people knew about Baba. So it was really hard. My father would conduct pujas every Thursday, and also he would tell people, he would hold satsang or talks on Baba, and thus he made an effort to spread Baba's fame in central India. He also built a small temple which was next to a Shiva temple. It is called a Shiva Sai temple in Khamaria, Jabalpur is where we were, or where my father worked. And then my father, when he retired, he decided to come and live in Pune because it was so close to Shirdi. And then we could just have to catch a bus, and in about 4 hours we would reach Shirdi. I finished my schooling in Jabalpur, and I joined the Jabalpur Medical College, and I did my MBBS there. Then I went to Delhi and I did my post-graduation there, and after working for some time I went to America. I had always decided that I would leave whatever I was doing at the age of 50. I would retire at the age of 50 so that I could do what I wanted and not what society wanted of me. I thought that if I went to America and I had saved enough money, that is when I came back to India at the age of 50, then I would like to live in Shirdi if Baba was willing to let me live in Shirdi, because not a leaf moves without Baba's consent. If Baba does not will it, nothing will happen. So, when I thought that when I would retire and come to Shirdi, then I would need some money to do any social work, because one cannot keep on asking people for donations. You'll ask for donations once, you'll ask for donations twice, and then after that people will start thinking, oh my God, she's come to ask for donations. So you should have an egg nest, or you should have some balance where you can do some work, like Annadan, Jaldan, Go Seva, whatever it is that you want to do in Baba's name. Then when I retired at 50, I was in Pune with my mother. My father had passed away and I was in Pune. And then I asked Baba, if you can allow me, please let me stay in Shirdi. I would like to do some seva for you. Then he made it very easy for me to come and live in Shirdi. I got this apartment very easily. He sent Sada to me. Sada would do all my running around work and go and find all the devotees that were here and there and everywhere. And he would ask them about Baba, and he would get all kinds of information from the devotees, some of whom who had seen Baba and some whose parents or grandparents told them about Baba. And thus my quest to find out Baba's history started. When I came to Shirdi, Baba did not allow me to do any social work in Shirdi. But however, once I had walked from Pune to Shirdi on Guru Purnima during with the Palki once I had walked from Pune to Shirdi with the Palki procession at Guru Purnima. At that time I had a lot of problems. My shoes were stolen, my medicine was lost, and I had to wear these kind of slippers, and I had blisters on my feet. And I was really in great deal of trouble. My blisters had got infested and I wanted to have a cup of hot tea so I could do the next 10 miles. So I asked Sada, I said, Sada, if anyone comes to Kerala, will you give them a cup of tea and hot tea and poha? He said, yeah, I can do that. So that is how we started doing seva at Kerala. We started doing Annadan and Jaldan for any devotees that walk with palkis or walk, who stop at our temple, which is Sri Sai Mandir Kerala. It is about 8 kilometers from Shirdi. It is on the airport road, and on their way to Shirdi, they stop by with us. We make them comfortable, we give them food, we give them a place to sleep, we do first aid, we do bandaging for their ulcers, and we give them a little little medicines like pain medications, or we give them something for diarrhea, we give them clean drinking water, and then they can proceed to come to Shirdi. At that time we also give them tea and poha. That is what we do. This Sri Sai Mandir Kerala started the seva system after I had walked from Pune to Shirdi, and I had a lot of problems. And Sada was willing to do this work for me. The whole temple of Sri Sai Mandir Kerala is run on volunteer basis. The volunteers come. Whenever there is a palki, the volunteers will come and they will cook the food for the Annadan. They will say that they get water. They will drive the tractor tankers and bring the water. so that they can have a bath and then proceed to Shirdi. We make them as comfortable as we possibly can. These days I find in Shirdi that the devotees coming to Shirdi are the young devotees who are very much into fashion and passion of life, and they come to Shirdi as if it is a resort. Shirdi is a Shri Kshetra. In fact, the name is not Shirdi. The name of this tiny village where Baba came to stay was Shiladhi. This means Shila means a mountain and Dhi means Buddhi. So, it is those people who reside here are serene like the mountain. They're calm, they're composed, they have Sit Prajna, and their Buddhi is that way. So, these are the qualities one should inculcate into yourself when you come to Shirdi. Shirdi is not a resort. The Shirdi is not a place where you come for fun and games. It is a very powerful bhumi where Baba walked. So, I would like to tell the devotees when they come to Shirdi to please treat it like a Shri Kshetra. When you come, you dress with a proper dress code. Whatever clothes you wear, please cover your body so that it is not a distraction to other devotees. Many people come from small villages in and around Maharashtra. They haven't seen human beings or girls or ladies or men dress this fashion. They have only seen it in the movies. So it is really distracting to them. And also, it speaks about the respect that you have for your God. When you have respect for your elder, or you have respect for your guru, or you have respect for your God, you cover your head, you dress adequately, you cover your body. It seems a little odd to me that people would go in front of their grandparents wearing very skimpy clothes, spaghetti straps and shorts and things like that. I'm not against Western clothes. In fact, I love Western clothes. But I think one should cover themselves adequately, wear a jacket on top of it, or wear a chunni so that you are covered. This is one of my requests to people. I find that Radha Krishna Mai would always tell the devotees, she would say to the devotees, don't forget you're going in front of the Parabrahma, the Raja the Raj. You should dress appropriately and you should behave decently. When you ask him, you should know how to ask him the questions that you need to ask him. You should have politeness, you should have respect, you should have love, you should have devotion. He's your Sadguru, but he's the Parabrahma in human form. So we should know how to act in front of him. We should be adequately covered and we should know how to talk in front of him. These are some of the things that I find when you come to Shirdi, and I would request all the devotees when they come to Shirdi. This is not a place which is a resort or a beach or something like that. Please treat it as a Shri Kshetra. It is a very powerful bhumi. It is the bhumi that Baba walked on. And we are lucky that we can set foot into Shirdi. So it would be nice if you are treated it that way. When you go in the lines or the queues, please don't scribble on the walls saying that this one loves that person or that person is, and then make a heart and things like that. Please don't deface the property of the samsthan. Please do not spit in the corners. Please keep the shadis clean. you'll get the laddu packets. Everybody runs to get the laddu packets or to get the nashta packets. And then they eat the nashta and then throw the packets here and there. People are stamping upon the prasad of Baba. That is something that bothers me a lot. Please do not do this. You'll get an udi packet, you'll take the udi, eat the udi and throw the packet there. That is Sanjeevani, that is Baba's udi. That Dunimai has been going on for more than 100 years. That is the Pavitra Sanjeevani that you got one packet of. Please don't throw away the packet like that. Please dispose of it properly. If you can put it in a flowing water, if you can put it in the ocean, in the river, in a place where it properly disposed of, that will be, it will be visarjan of that packet. These are some of the things I request all the devotees to do. Please, please, when you get a odi packet, treat it like more dear than your own life. You get a laddu packet, don't eat the laddu and throw the packet here and there. Pick it up and keep it up. This has a repercussion on not only you but also on your generations. Like you buy flowers and then the petals fall off or you throw the flowers here and there. Somebody will step on it. That is nirmalya. It has a repercussion on so many generations of yours. You pick it up and keep it. It has been offered to Baba. Please keep it properly. This is something that I would expect from all the devotees that come to Shirdi. Thank you. Om Sai Ram.